Congratulations on being an entrepreneur. Whether you've just started out or you've been working for yourself for a while, you just want some tips and support from people who have done it for longer, you've come to the right place. Welcome. Hi, my name is Michele Schalin, and I am the author of Mindful Metamorphosis, a compassionate guide to inner transformation. And I've been an entrepreneur for almost 20 years now. I started a website services company in 2004, before Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, the whole shebang. And it still exists today, and I have a team that works for me, so my role has changed quite a bit. I have another business called Mindful Metamorphosis, the same title as my book, where I'm a mental health, fitness, and meditation guide. I'm also a breathwork facilitator, and a sound practitioner. And I work with groups. I do workshops in person, online, and one-on-one. So I really help people learn how to develop a mental health fitness belief system and integrate things in their life to help them with stress and anxiety and help process their feelings and find balance and peace in their life. Now, my theme to talk to you today is about being a mindful entrepreneur. And I have quite a bit of experience practicing this. And I want to share some really important things for you so you will be able to manage your experience and enjoy it. Okay. So we all know we've had businesses in the past, jobs in the past where they have different departments in different responsibilities, right? The marketing department, the content department, the services department, manager, personal, human relations, whatever, human resources. But when you start to work for yourself, you don't have that support system and all those other people aren't around. And then you have to wear all the hats, right? So it can get really overwhelming, but there's things you can put in place, kind of like guardrails, to really help you deal with this. And so you don't get overwhelmed. And a lot of it has to do with your balance and your structure and your thoughts, what words you use, how you talk to yourself. It's very, very important, very powerful. It changes how you feel mentally, physically, emotionally, everything. Okay. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is balance. As soon as you can, because you have all these responsibilities, you're in charge of everything. You need to delegate as soon as possible. Now, I understand a lot of us have a budget, of course, that we're working with. Maybe it's not that big, and you're trying to do all these things to save money. However, that can really backfire on you and get you really stressed out and burnt out. So as soon as you can, anything you can delegate, do it. You can find interns to help you, or get really affordable, assistants or bookkeepers, whatever. Like, for example, I have a bookkeeper and an accountant that I use. I do not like doing all the numbers. I hate it. And it just weighs me down. It takes a lot of time and I feel stressed around it, right? So I have something for that. My talent is in networking and marketing and design concept and content creation, right? When I first started my web services company, it was before there were any kind of websites that had databases or anything, for the main person. No WordPress or anything like that existed. No shopping cart websites or anything yet, okay? And I got the first client that wanted a database. And I was like, oh, I don't know how to do that. And I knew that I didn't want to learn how to do that because that's like programmer, accountant, engineer mentality brain, and that's not me. So I went to Craigslist, a popular place where you can find work and get contractors and that right away to try to find somebody that could do this for me. And that was the beginnings of having people work underneath me and having different contractors for different specialties, right? So that was really, really important to me. And that gave me breathing room to be able to market my company. I couldn't bog myself down in learning how to do a database. Another thing that you could maybe consider is get a web developer to do your website. A lot of entrepreneurs put so many hours into creating a website that doesn't even work that good because they don't know how to create a website. Yes, there's platforms that you can put, pretty pictures on, but if they're not, if the pages are not written properly and with search engine optimization, and even the design is really important for Google to rank it good in the algorithms. These are things you don't know as if you're not a web developer. Okay, so it's a perfect example. Get professionals to do things that you don't know how to do as soon as you can. Right? I know maybe at the beginning you can't, but as soon as you can, do it. Another thing that will help you with balance is work your schedule. Some kind of structure around your schedule. There's, you could be an entrepreneur. People that tend to be entrepreneurs maybe tend to do too much work. Okay. They don't have a lot of structure around their schedule and when to quit, and they're overworking. I mean, there are some people that maybe are procrastinators and work for themselves as well. Either way, a structure will help you. Okay. But if you start not having any structure, you may find yourself, especially if you're working at home, working way too much, and you're going to get burnt out, and it's going to affect your relationship with the people around you, and the relationship you have with yourself. All right. And your sleep, everything. All right. So, so you want to have some kind of structure around when you're going to work. And of course you can change it up, be flexible. You're the boss, right? Now, with client communication, you want to be careful around this. If you decide you want to work at night, because you got kids during the day, you got activities, you got to do some work at night, be careful about emailing at night, because, or on the weekends or on Sunday, at any kind of time that's off hours. If you email a client, not all clients will do this, but some of them will respond right away, or they think you just gave them the green light that you can contact them, that they can contact you, and they'll call you up right away. And I did this at the beginning because I was like, oh, I got to get the money in. I got to get my clients and got to get back to them right away. So I was emailing on the weekends, at night, Sunday night, whatever, it didn't matter. And some of my clients started communicating with me during this time, and I responded. And we got in the habit of doing this. And after a while, I started getting resentful because I thought, well, what do they think? I have to work on the weekends and at night all the time. They expect me to be available like a doctor 24/7. But then I had to back up and go, well, wait a second. I gave them permission for that. I gave them the green light. I'm the one that started it, right? So if you find yourself in this situation, really all you have to do is retrain the client. Don't send, you can schedule your email to go out in the morning, okay? Or just make a note, send out the email tomorrow morning, but now you can schedule them, okay? And when that client that's used to you working on the weekends and at night and talking to them or whatever, just don't respond to them until work hours, and just start doing that. Don't answer the call and answer during work hours. Just change it. And they'll probably not say a thing and just go along with the change. You just retrain them. If they do say something, all you have to say is, hey, yeah, I'm sorry. I just was getting really burnt out, and I have to have structure around my hours and be on work hours only, work time. And they'll totally understand. So that's really important. Breaks, taking breaks. Sometimes you get all into it. You're like this, into the computer, and your neck and your back will start to bother you, whatever. It's very, very important for your mental and physical health and your emotional health to get up and take some breaks. And if you have to, maybe have the timer go off every hour, so you can get up and you can stretch and you can move around. You can go maybe meditate a little bit, go for a walk, do some grounding, feet on the ground, bare feet, getting negatively charged electrodes into your body. Fantastic for anxiety and stress and inflammation. You can do all kinds of different, walk around, stretch, do whatever, eat whatever you need to do. Take a break every hour. Okay, this is really important. And most people have to have a timer to be committed to stay with it. Okay, I promise you this will help. The more balance and less stress you have in working for yourself, the more energy you will have and the more creativity you will have, right? So this is very, very important. So now I want to talk about your thoughts. This is super important. Your thoughts dictate your perception, and that's your experience, right? Whatever you perceive something is your experience. Two people can have the same experience and perceive it totally different, right? Because of their experience in their life. So it's very important to watch the words that you use. And most people have no idea. That's all in the background. We tend to have a negative bias running in the back of our mind. And they say, science says, 95% of the time we are operating life on our subconscious, stuff that's going on that we're not paying attention. Okay. So it's really important to start to observe your words. Now, different words mean different things, right? But this is a great exercise. Different words have different definitions for people, I should say. The meanings are different for different people. If you write the word money or entrepreneurship or freedom, this is a really good exercise. You could write these down, and one at a time. And then just write down how you feel. Write down all the words that describe the feelings you have around that word. Okay. Money is a highly charged emotional word. So, freedom, entrepreneurial, write those down. And you can do this with any word in the future, because it will show you where you are feeling stressed. Okay. The stress, the underlying emotion for stress is fear, right? Fear of not getting this done or that done, or doing this, or getting in front of a camera or whatever. Okay. Not doing it perfect, whatever. And so the stress and the fear totally changes your experience physiologically, emotionally, and mentally. So this is why it's so important to learn how you feel about certain words. What is the definition of money for you? Okay. Or success or entrepreneurship. And when you do this exercise, it'll open up your eyes of where you maybe are stressed or fearful that you really didn't realize before. Okay. So that's just like a side exercise, is really good to do. So what you're going to start wanting to watch is how you talk about your work and how you feel about your work when you wake up in the morning, and when you think about your to-do list and things that are on that list that are important for you to do that day. How are you talking about that? How are you saying that in your mind? A real common way people will say is, I have to do this, I have to do that. Or you could wake up and feel anxious right away and go, oh my God, I got such a busy day, I have to do so much today. You see how immediately you go into anxiety, feel of an anxiety when you start to think about what you have to do. You have so much to do. It's a horrible way to start the day. Okay, I've done this. I have to really watch this. This is one of my challenges. And so you can change how you talk about it. All right. And then immediately will change the outcome. Instead of saying, I have to do this, I have to do that, you can say, I get to do this. Oh, today I get to make a video for these ladies and give them tips on how to be mindful in their experience of entrepreneurship. This is exciting for me, because I know how important this is to be able to enjoy the experience of working for yourself. You see what I'm saying? And immediately I get excited. Now, when you think, oh, I'm grateful and I get to do this, it's gratitude. It's just like, oh, I'm grateful that I can do this. I get to do this. Immediately it takes you into gratitude, which is present. Okay. You're less stressed and you're excited. So it actually gives you energy. The other way of looking at, oh my God, I got to do it. Oh my God, it starts to stress your body and suck your energy. Okay. And then just make you miserable. So that is really important. I actually have a video on my YouTube channel that talks about changing the word, the phrase, I have to I get to. It's massive. And you can start to see, when you do that, you will pay attention to what's happening to your body. Pay attention to how you feel emotionally and how your body responded physically. Like you'll feel tight and contracted when you talk about being I have to. And when you take some really nice deep breaths to put you back into the parasympathetic system, which is the calm, rest, and restore. And then you can get more creative and go, oh, okay, I get to do this, right? When you're stressed out, oh my God, I have to do this. I have to do this big list. You're in the sympathetic system, and that's the flight or fight. You're stressed out, it's fear-based, and it suppresses your immune system. So it's really bad for your health all the way around. Okay. And we're in this much too much. So taking a deep breath actually flicks the switch. It takes you from the sympathetic system to the parasympathetic system just by deep breathing. And what am I grateful for? What am I getting to do? Okay. So for example, I'll give you a couple examples. I have just come off my book tour for 6 weeks. I was traveling and I just got back home yesterday. And I'm a little bit behind on some of my things because I was traveling and I was doing a lot of events and talking to a lot of people, and I was posting it on social media so people could see it. In my regular responsibilities, I was still doing things, but not as much as normal. And then I had this great opportunity to make this video and be involved in this program with Love Yourself program. And then I had another opportunity to submit an article to a magazine, and they both had deadlines and they were both coming in right at the same time. And plus I had to get back to my other responsibilities, and I started going into this stress mode. Oh my God, I gotta, and I was like, no, this is exciting. This is exciting. These are things that you love to do and love help people. And good practice to get in front of a camera again. It's just been a while. And what I do is I start breaking it up a little bit. You figure out what works for you. What I do is I start breaking up or start writing notes and stuff of what I'm going to talk about. I don't have to come up with it all at once. So when I was traveling, I started writing little notes about what I wanted to share with you and that kind of thing. Okay. So that's a perfect example. Another video I actually have on my YouTube channel is how I got control of negative thinking and turned it around and changed my experience completely at a Rolling Stones concert in, I think it was like May 2021. It was the first concert they had done since the COVID lockdown, and nobody could do anything. Nobody could get together for a really long time. We're right. And my friend bought me a ticket to Rolling Stones concert, and I went, and I started getting super stressed when we got to our seats because of the energy. It was 10,000 people and all this music. And I had a lot of isolation during the quarantine because I was a very strict quarantine in Spain, and just a lot of ongoing restrictions for 14, 16 months before I actually came back to the States. And I hadn't even had that kind of experience, a concert experience, for over 8 years, probably, that big of a concert. And you'll see, I describe it in the video, so I won't go into it in detail, but I was able to turn my thinking around about feeling stressed within 2 minutes. And I had a wonderful time the rest of the night. And when it happened, when I was able to do it by breath work and how I was talking to myself and moving to get the energy out that I was creating in my body from starting to get stressed, I knew immediately that the work that I had been doing, the mindfulness exercises, the meditation practice, the breath work, all of this work that I've been doing, helped me do that. That I never had that control over my mind before in my life. And I'm able to do that really quickly, not all the time, but most of the time now. So it's amazing how fast it changes the experience, right? It just takes practice. Now, how can you get that control over your mind? Just practice observing with compassion and love. It's never observing with oh, you're doing that again and you know better and all that, because we tend to have that critical, self-critic and judgment. That's out the window whenever that comes into your mind. I mean, just as a general practice, whenever you start criticizing yourself and shaming yourself or guilting yourself for something, a good practice I do is I apologize to myself. I'm sorry, sweetheart. I do not want to treat you that way. I want to treat you just like anybody I love and adore. So we're learning how to do this. It's no big deal. We don't think that way anymore. We think this way. We think this way. We're going to get to do this. We're grateful to do something or whatever. Okay. So that's a really good thing to start doing. And it just takes practice. It takes practice. You've been programmed and conditioned doing something and thinking a certain way for all your life. So to start to notice your thoughts is going to be very revealing. And don't be alarmed when you notice that they're more negative than you probably thought. A lot of people, I'm such a positive person. I'm a positive person. And then you start really watching your thoughts. I'm much more negative and judging than I thought I was. But it's nothing to be upset about or judging or critical. Very important. Okay. Now, let me look at my list here. All right. The other thing I want to, well, I'm going to touch on that and how you do that in a second. The other thing I want to talk about the to-do list actually is I used to create a long to-do list and then I would check it off and this and that. And then if I didn't get it all done that day, I would start to feel a little anxiety of that. Okay. So what I started to do was to create short to-do lists. Okay. Don't try, okay, you have an ongoing to-do list and it'll never end. Okay. Like my to-do list will end when I'm dead. You know, I have a lot of ambition. I have a lot of interest. I work for myself. There's, you know, I'll always have things on my to-do list. And so what I do is I focus on what do I have to do today? If you get that feeling of overwhelm, like, oh my God, I got so much to do and it all needs to be done at once. Well, it doesn't need to be done. We think it needs to be done at once, but no, it doesn't. What do I need to do right now? And then in 15 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, whatever, what do I need to do now? Okay, that's a great way to break it up if you're starting to feel stressed, right? Or you can make short lists like I'm going to work on this video for Love Yourself Project. And tomorrow I'm going to work on this other article that I'm going to submit for a magazine. They both have really close deadlines, but I don't need to do them both in one day. Okay. And I'll break it up a little bit. And then I don't feel stressed about rushing through it and getting it done. It's a lot less. When you're present and you're very focused in the present and you're not worried about what you have to do next, your body will be much more peaceful and much more relaxed. That's just a general thing, period, whether it's work or not. If you're just present in what you're doing and not thinking about the next moment, your body will feel less stressed. Start to watch yourself on this when you're out socially or working or whatever you're doing, even if you're just doing chores. If you're thinking about the next moment, your body starts to contract and it feels stressed. If you're not thinking about the next moment and you're just right where you're doing right now and focusing on present moment, then your body will feel more peaceful and you'll feel different. Watch it. It's really a great observation. It's a great exercise. Now, I understand you have to think ahead, you have to plan ahead and stuff like that, but you know what I'm talking about. When you are chronically thinking about the next moment that you have to do, and you know, we all do this. We all do this. So just something to watch, okay? We already talked about changing your words. Okay, and the list of feelings and that kind of thing. Okay, so what I want to talk to you about now is how you get better at it. Okay, you're watching, you correct yourself and say, oh no, that's not what we're going to say. We're going to say this, you know, I get to do it instead of I have to do it. But I highly encourage you to start a meditation practice because meditation is brain training. It trains you to be able to control your thoughts more. Now, you can't control what comes in, but you can learn to control and turn it around. Like I talked to you about the, you know, have to and get to, and what I did with the Rolling Stones concert. Check out that video on my YouTube channel. It's amazing. And you do this practice regular, every day. Consistent is the most important thing. It's not the duration. So people are like, I don't have time to meditate. Yes, you do. It's like brushing your teeth. I promise you that if you consistently do some kind of meditation, it could be walking meditation, moving meditation, sitting meditation, whatever works for you. There's all kinds of different types. I don't want to get too into all that. That's a whole nother subject. But finding something meditative that you focus on, and then your mind will wander. Okay, of course it's going to wander. That's what it does. It's always thinking. Don't criticize yourself. Don't get so serious about it. Don't judge yourself. It's just like it wanders. You come back. You wander, and then you refocus on whatever you're focused on. Are you focusing on a prompt to a guided meditation, a mantra, your breath, something you're looking at, whatever? Just you wander and you refocus. And that's the training. Just the refocus every time is training your brain. And then when your mind wanders, you just treat it like a little dog that you're taking for a walk, or a toddler that gets distracted. And then you go, no, come on over here. We were looking at this. Remember, let's go over here. You don't get mad at the dog or toddler. You just refocus them, right? So that's all you have to do. There's different exercises. You can do this beyond meditation. Also, there's a mindful exercise where you can say, you could be walking down the street or driving or doing whatever you're doing, and say to yourself, okay, let's see how long I can stay present without going into the future or the past. I'll guarantee you within minutes, you'll probably be jumping out to the future or the past. And you can, and then you won't even realize you'll be in there, and then all of a sudden you go, what? Wait a second, I was supposed to be present. I'm supposed to be in the present practicing this. And you can just make it a game and laugh at yourself. All right. So that is the same kind of thing. It's training over and over again. If you have that in your life, I should say, when you have that in your life, if you're already doing it, great. You know what I'm talking about. You will absolutely see more control over your thoughts and being able to turn them around. You'll be able to process your emotions better. You'll be able to focus better. Your body will have more energy. Okay, I can go on for a whole workshop on meditation, so I'll stop here. But I'm telling you, it's a game changer. It is a superpower and affects every area of your life, physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, professionally, and personally. That's every area, right? The science is behind it. You can go do research, or you can talk to me about it, and I can help you with it. But meditation practice absolutely will help you have more control of your thoughts, notice when you're stressed and negative and fearful, and control and learning how to turn it around. Okay. So those are the things that I wanted to share with you. Balance with structure, your communication with your clients, breaks, moving around, timer, figure out how you're gonna work. Delegate to get people to do things underneath you so you don't have to do everything. Watch how you talk to yourself. Do the exercise with the words. Write down some words and how the feelings about it, because they will show you where you have maybe some fear or anxiety, and you can, look at that. And when you have the have to, turn it around to get to the to-do list, break it up. Okay, little times each day, be flexible with it. Now, the last thing I want to explain to you is an exercise that I'm going to have you do to show you the power that words have on you. You will see it and you will feel it. Okay. And you're going to click on the little download button, and you're going to get a little exercise to do. And basically it's going to be, you're going to talk about 3 different experiences in your life. They could be something really positive and beautiful and wonderful, or it could be something that was really difficult and very hard for you. Now, you had 3 experiences. 3. The first time, you're just going to say the facts. The second time, you're going to say it with a negative slant, like the hardship around it. And even it's a good thing, there's something negative you can find that, that came out of that you noticed. And then what was really good about it and was a positive thing. Even if it was a really hard thing, there's always positive things that can come out of something you learned from it, right? And when you write it and then you read it out loud, you will see a difference in how you feel in your mind and your emotions and your body. The emotions are your body's language. It's the feeling. Feelings is your body language. The thoughts is your language of your mind. And you will absolutely see a difference. So let me give you an example. My mother died, and she was only 56, and I was 27 years old. That's just the facts. My mother died. She was 56 years old, and I was 27. Did I say that right? 56 years old, 27, and I was 27. it was an extremely, really hard time in my life. We had a lot of unsaid things. Our relationship was loving, but also volatile. And it was a very, very difficult time for me for a long time. My mother died when she was 56 years old, and I was 27. And even though it was a really difficult time for me, I was able to learn how to help people deal with grief. I could talk to them about death of somebody that they loved and help them feel better, that they had someone to talk to about it and they could feel comfortable talking with them about it and they understand exactly how they felt. That's a beautiful gift to give somebody when they lose somebody, because most people don't know how to talk about death and they're really uncomfortable with it. And the person that's grieving needs to talk to somebody. So that's a beautiful gift and a talent that I have. And yeah, so that's a perfect example. So you're going to write about 3 different events. And first, it's good or bad. It doesn't matter. I shouldn't say good or bad, difficult or challenging or wonderful or beautiful, whatever. And you're going to write them with the facts, just only the facts, the negative thing that was really tough, or the positive turnout that came out of it. Okay. And yeah, so I hope that what I shared here helped you. If you have any questions about anything I've shared, please don't hesitate to contact me. MichelleSchalin.com. Michelle with 1 L, Schalin, SCHALIN.com. And I'd be happy to help you with anything you need. Okay. So congratulations. Get going on the exercise and have a wonderful experience being an entrepreneur. Take care. Bye.